Hi, Daniel O'Brien here. I've put together this spontaneous training, that's what I'm going to call it. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be blending two trainings together based on a coaching call that I did this week. So I've got this training called Make Money with 30 Chickens, which just talks about the things you need to set up with 30 chickens, and you can sell eggs and make money from them. But someone said, hey, I want to buy a chicken caravan with a few other people. Now, the coaching call I had this week, someone wanted to buy a chicken caravan 130, and they were going to get 10 families, all put in $1,000. So $10,000, they were going to put in a bit of their own money. And then they were going to sell the eggs back to those 10 families for a little bit more than cost. So we'll obviously cover the cost of the feed and the birds, and a little bit for their labor. And that way, the 10 families don't have to have chickens themselves. They don't have to look after the chickens. They can just put the $1,000 in and then buy the eggs. And it was an interesting call, and I did it live with the client to go. We went through the figures and we sort of ran some scenarios. And I've had various other questions over the time. And I thought, what I'll do, I'm going to blend the Make Money with 30 Chickens. So we'll cover what does 30 chickens look like, how much will it cost to set up. And then I'm going to jump into the spreadsheet. So it is a little bit spontaneous because I'll sort of be doing this live in real time. So I'm quickly going to go through this one. Make money with 30 chickens. Well, I'll go straight to this, the boring part. This is general information only. I'm not a financial advisor, a financial planner, an accountant. So you've got to go seek. If you're going to make a financial decision, you have to go talk to a professional. I'm not a professional. This is general information and not legal advice. There's the boring stuff. So I want to go through this part quickly. The stuff you need. So if you want to get a Chicken Caravan 30, there's three things. You're going to need the Chicken Caravan 30, the electric fence, the fence energizer to keep the power up to the fence so you don't have foxes go in and you don't have the chickens going out. And you need 30 chickens. Like, let's keep it really simple now. 30 chickens, fence energizer. So with the costings, we've got a Chicken Caravan 30 for $4,500, the fence $395, Energizer $937, and with the 30 hens, I'll just check. So I'm going to make them $25 each, 25 times 30. So I'm going to make that up to $750. And now I've just put the total out, but that doesn't matter much. Well, yes, it does. So what I'll do, I want two figures here. I want the total without hens, and then what I want is the total with hens. As I said, I'm going to be doing this live with you. So the total without hens, I'm going to just punch it into my calculator off screen here. So 4.5 plus 395 plus 937, that's just the energizer, equals, so without hens it's 32, and then I can just go plus 750. So we're up to 6582. All right, so that's where we're at. I've updated that hens figure because I think I had the hens in at $15 each, and hens have gone up in price. Side note, if you want to make money with chickens, you can grow chickens and sell hens. There's a good market for that. What I'm going to do now is this 5832, that's the capital equipment. You don't have to buy this stuff every year, but your hens you will. So I'm going to take the 5832 and I'm going to, I tried to get fancy here. Where is my spreadsheet? Here it is. So here we go. We've got the 5832. So this is the capital equipment. So what I'm going to say, we're going to have, I'll make this column a bit bigger so I can just put some, I'm just going to put some notes in here. So 5 people, at $1,000 each. So what in this example, we're going to have 5 people that give $1,000 each, or donate, or contribute to buy this chicken caravan together, because they might be going, hey, we don't want to outlay 5,800 plus buy feed and plus buy some birds and all the rest of it. So we're going to do 5 people at $1,000 plus yourself. So what I'm going to do, the capital equipment, for the sake of the spreadsheet, I'm just going to make it down to $832, because we've already got the $1,000 each, which equals $5,000. So I'm going to take off $5,000 here. Okay, so we've got the bird cost at $25 each. That is what we reflected in this example. I've got this grayed out cartons. I'm assuming in this scenario we're going to use secondhand cartons. I'm not giving legal advice, but I believe if you're selling less than 20 dozen eggs a week in Australia, you don't have to pay for registration. You might still have to be registered, but you might be able to use secondhand cartons. You cannot use secondhand cartons if you're commercial, if you're selling more than 20 dozen eggs a week. But like all legal advice, please go back to your state or territory to see what the rules apply to you. But in this example, I'm saying we've got a Chicken Caravan 30. We've got 5 people put in $1,000 each, so the capital equipment for us is just down to $832. We had to do the initial bird cost, but now we've got the bird costs, which will build in each year. So I'm just going to put this back in. There we go. So what that means, at $25 a bird, 30 birds, over 1 year, it's $1.03 needs to be put aside to replace the birds. So we've got enough money, which I think we said on the last screen, $750. So that is 52 weeks by $25 by 30. Comes to $1 per dozen. All right. So now we've got the 5 people. We're not going to sell it to them for $8 each, because they might as well go to the supermarket for that. But we still want it to be sustainable. So if we take that back to $6 a week each, you're still paying for all the feed. You're making $2,000 a year. So what we found in the example this week, as I said, we're going through the client, we found $5.80 a dozen was good. For the people that bought in, it was going to be $5.80, because you still need to cover the feed costs. We're not going to have any carton costs, cover the bird cost, and also your labour. So that means there's $2,100.88 a year for your labour. And to put that in perspective, let's go on the calculator. 2188 divide 365. So that's about $6 a day. So to put in perspective, you're not going to do this to become a millionaire. This is more a service to friends and family. You might go, let's all get in it together. You're going to make $6 a day. You're also probably going to get your own eggs for free. Okay, a few things here. Of the 5 people, if you're setting up this co-op, there's a few nuances and details that you'll have to work out. Of the 5 people, you're roughly going to get 14 dozen per week at 80% production. So you could say to these people, they get 2, so each person gets 2 dozen a week at $5.80. At $5.80, at $5.80 a dozen, and so that will and that will leave you with an extra four dozen a week, probably for yourself. So I more want to just I don't want to go into too much detail and then you get lost in it. But I'm more just wanting to put it out there to you. You might go, okay, what would it look like if I bought a chicken caravan with a friend? Now, it doesn't have to be 5 people. It could be 6 people. It could be one other person. But what it looks like. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention that I wanted to, which came up in the coaching call I did this week, just because someone outlays the $1,000 to buy capital equipment, there's still weekly costs of you've got to feed them, you've got to pay for birds, like replacement flock, and then there's a labour for the person that is looking after the birds. So just bear that in mind. So you just don't want to say to someone, hey, buy the chicken caravan, you get free eggs, because yes, you've bought the chicken caravan, but there's still an ongoing cost. You don't have to do it 580. You can keep reducing this figure until this goes down to 0, but understand there's no profit in it for you. Not that you're doing it for profit, but you need to cover your costs. So you might go, what if we put that down to $4? You've got $870 a year income. Let's put it down to $380. Let's put it down to 3. So you could, if you wanted to, it'd be a volunteer's position, very much so. If you wanted to be generous, you could say, hey, 5 people, get the chicken caravan. 5 people, put in $1,000 each, and you'll have to put in the money to pay for the other $832 plus the chickens. And after you've done that, you're going to get your eggs for $3 a dozen. The factor in there is your feed costs, because if your feed goes, and I've said it's $1,100 a ton. So if we had, by making it that cheap, if they go up to $1,200 a ton, suddenly your profit goes down. You can still, you're making $40 a year, not amazing. The other factor to bear in mind is risk. With those 30 chickens, number of birds, if a fox gets in, if something happens, if a few of them die, I don't like the margins that small, because suddenly the people could be saying, well, we've outlaid the $1,000 a dozen. We want to buy 2 dozen eggs a week for, in this example, $3 a dozen. If anything goes wrong, it's going to be left with you. So that's why I like, I can round it, I can just make it $5 a dozen. But the 580 in the example that I was playing with, it worked because there's a little bit of a buffer in there in case you need to do some maintenance or fix something, or if the feed goes up just a little bit, there's a bit of a buffer. You might be able to get your feed for $1,000 a ton. In the example this week, they were getting it. They were buying 25 kilo bags of layer pellets for $25. So it was exactly $1,000 a ton. But for the example, I said, well, hang on, let's just say feed's going to go up. Do you have a little bit of a buffer there? So hopefully that's helpful to you. Just quickly, yeah, if you wanted to buy a chicken caravan 30 with a few people, you can just use this example to find out how it could work for you guys. If you're looking for the egg costing spreadsheet, this is one I sort of put together for the 30. So I've removed a few columns which are not in the commercial one. But if you want one, you can go to chickencaravan.com and go /free training. /free training. It's taking a little while to load because I've got slow internet today. It's under training. If you go to our website, under training and down to free training, and you can download this spreadsheet for free. It will look a little bit different to this one. The other one will have a lot more detail in it, like delivery of eggs and labels for cartons. But you can simply remove those columns. Like it'll have a labor rate to say you're employing staff at $25 an hour. So you can remove those and get the same outcome to go, what's it going to look like if a few people invest? Anyway, you go to free training. There's a lot of great, useful information here. And then you go to egg costing spreadsheet, and you can just click download. You don't even have to opt in. You don't have to give me your email address. You can go straight to our website. I hope that has been helpful to you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Daniel O'Brien. I'll talk to you next time.